This trip was intended to show support for Britain's allies in Eastern Europe and solidarity with an admiration for the Ukrainian people. But at a press conference in Poland, that was not good enough for one Ukrainian activist who said it was time for NATO to enforce a no-fly zone in her country.
You are coming to Poland. You are not coming to Kiev, Prime Minister. You are not coming to Lviv because you are afraid, because NATO is not willing to defend, because NATO is afraid of World War III, but it is already started. And these are Ukrainian children who are there taking the hit. I see that my family members, that my team members are saying that we are crying. We don't have where to run. Well, this is what is happening, Prime Minister.
When you talk about the no-fly zone, as I said to Volodymyr Zelensky, I think a couple of times, unfortunately the implication of that is that the UK and would be engaged in shooting down Russian planes, would be engaged in direct combat with Russia. That's not something that we can do or that we've envisaged.
Using RAF Typhoons to patrol a no-fly zone over Ukraine has been raised before, but analysts point out enforcing such a zone could lead to combat with Russian jets. So what would that mean?
We'd be at war with Russia, and that's something that we don't want to do. I mean, obviously, there are diplomatic channels which are designed to de-escalate such catastrophic confrontations. But if an RAF Typhoon was to shoot down a Russian MiG-29, then I think we'd be in deep trouble.
The Prime Minister with British troops today in Estonia. There'll soon be 2,000 deployed there to deter any Russian aggression. But Estonia is in NATO while Ukraine is not. And when it comes to Western forces intervening, that remains the crucial dividing line.
Let's go to Andy in Westminster now. That was an extraordinary exchange in Poland and just goes to show, Andy, the amount of anger that's directed towards the government. And here they've been under fire as well for not doing more to help Ukrainian refugees. Seems to have prompted a rethink.
Yes, I mean, to be fair, I guess the government were always saying, look, this policy is probably going to develop, and it certainly has today, to the point where Boris Johnson is talking about potentially 200,000 Ukrainian refugees coming to join family members here, compared to a figure of about half that yesterday. Now, what they've done is they said it doesn't have to be anyone who is a UK citizen of Ukrainian origin anymore. It can be someone who's been granted the right to remain. And they've also expanded the categories of family members who can come. So, for instance, now it can be brothers and sisters and grandparents as well. So that's how you get up to this potentially much bigger figure. But one thing that has not happened is that the UK government does not waive the idea of having to apply for a visa, as has happened in EU countries. Today, the Home Secretary is still saying that there are important security concerns with so many people coming as a result of that conflict, that you still have to go through security checks attached to applying for a visa. So a big relaxation today in terms of how Ukrainian refugees can potentially come to this country, but for some people it will still not be enough.
OK, Andy, thank you.